Sick. Cool. Right. Hello. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. I have 1 hour of videotape, so it's going to be, I'm going to try and be quite clinical. Today's session, this is a kind of oh, hi, Rosie. This is a kind of a big one, because what we're trying to do here is not only set plans for the year, but look at kind of what we've achieved so far in our lives. And then every quarter, we're going to be coming back and looking at what you said you were going to do and looking at how far away from it, did we exceed it, or be in the right trajectory. So hopefully, today is going to be really useful. But it is very important that you have the following rules. Click. Thank you. Oh, there. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. I think I might have double clicked. But generally, thank you for giving up your Saturday and putting your trust in us. I spent too long on this presentation, so hopefully it won't be shit. There. So the first kind of rules on what you kind of think about. Do we need the lights on or off? Tangent number one. Lights on or off? What do we think? Off? Let's turn them off. Leave them on? You want them on? Oh. So it's professional. Cool. Now, you don't necessarily need to share anything today, but I want you to be kind of really open with yourself and be vulnerable with yourself as well. It's really easy to talk about things on a surface level and be like, huh, everything's fine. Huh, I just want to lose body fat. That's all I want to do. Almost all of your goals need to be deeper than just what you think superficially. No egos. It's really easy to believe that you're better than you actually are and that you're the most important thing in the world, and actually you're not, and no one actually cares. I want you to communicate honestly with yourself and potentially other people. I'm going to ask for a little bit of sharing in the inception. I'd love you to participate if you are willing and able. And I also want you to be the best person in the room. So what are the behaviors that align with the best person in the room? Somebody who's attentive, somebody who writes down answers to all the questions, somebody who thinks deeply, somebody who supports other people. I want you to be the best person in that room. And you're all competing for it. So you're all it's all going to be dead nice. So the first kind of, I guess, is a little bit of an icebreaker, and it's not on the work group because this is something that I added in because I was thinking about it last night. I want you to think and potentially make notes of 5 milestones that you have achieved in your life. There's nobody here who can turn around and say they haven't achieved anything in their life. You might think that, but you're full of shit. Okay? It could be leaving the relationship that you don't want to be in. It could be getting married. It could be climbing a mountain. It could be doing your first squat. It could be joining a fucking gym. What is a milestone in your life that you have personally achieved in your life? Nando's toilet music. I just want 5. There probably is. There's probably loads. But we often don't think about them very much. Nando's toilet music's always good thinking music. Having children, getting a cat. That was a milestone in my life. It was, to be fair. And I got 3 of the buggers. Also, by the way, if you write an answer down to every single one of these questions that I have for you today, you're going to be in a very good position to work towards a better version of yourself. Okay, super quick. If you haven't got 5, you can sit with it and add things when you have some free time today. With that in mind, I'd like you to list a few, maybe 10. What are the main character traits of the person who has achieved those goals? How did you achieve those goals? What characteristics does that person, PS, you, Sophie, have? Hard work, competency, honesty, integrity, sacrifice, challenge, struggle, adherence. Don't just say those 7. But they're fairly transferable. What are the 5 milestones that you've achieved in your life, and what are the characteristics of the person that achieved those milestones? Bravery. Whew. That's a good one. I guarantee everybody here has been brave at some point in their lives. Stowe was brave not bringing a chair. Helpful. Hopefully, that's the dream, isn't it? Is there anyone that is happy to share any milestones with them? Remember, being the best person in the room. What would the best person in the room do? What behaviors and characteristics would the best person in the room have? Is there anyone that would like to share any milestones that they have achieved? Heidi. Lovely, thank you. Yeah, hard decision, right? Hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life. The easy thing to do is to stick with it. It'll prevent you with create a much harder life with you in the future. Well, what characteristics did that take? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Love that. Put yourself first. Courage. Honest with yourself. There's a lot of amazing characteristics that you've shown in just that one example. Who else had their hand up? Heather.
Moving out of my mum's house.
Yeah?
I got knocked up quite young, so it kind of delayed. Not the best term, but
Maybe not. It's okay. There's no kids here.
24, 25.
Yep.
Actually moved out of my mum's house, and it was just me and this little kid.
Yeah. Amazing.
All right.
Yeah, it turned out really, really well. What characteristics did that decision make?
Brave as well.
Yeah.
And also just accountability, holding myself accountable for how I was going to progress and being a parent to this kid.
100%.
To look after myself, not rely on somebody else.
Accountability, bravery. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. One more. Don't all put your hands up. Floco.
Career change.
Career change.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Got onto a UGC training course at 44 and that's a big change for me.
It's amazing. And what characteristics did you show before you did that?
Patience. It's a strange one because I wanted to, I had to do a lot of change to be able to do it.
Mm.
And I wanted it to be instant, and it couldn't be instant. I had to go through lots of different things. I had to retrain, I had to get to GCSEs at a certain rate.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to learn again. I was with lots of really young people. And yeah, sat it through, did it, set myself goals.
That's awesome. Well done. Thank you for sharing. Well, long-term gratification, we always want things to happen straight away, especially when it comes to like health and fitness. It's like one of the weird industries where you just think it's going to happen now. So no, it'll take 10 years. God damn it. But showing patience and self-discipline and adherence will really help you. What a great characteristic. Thanks for sharing, guys. Very nice. So just a really quick overview, and I'm not going to do this bit again when we meet up in the future, but we commit, and we sat down on, when did we sit down, Ali? When was it? Thursday? And we looked at like what ETC actually is and what do we offer in terms of our product. And ultimately, our kind of mission is to enhance people's lives through fitness, environment, and belonging. I can't say environment very well. Environment. We want to focus on health, movement, and strength. That's broken down into other segments: nutrition, training, and lifestyle. And all the different segments that we have, you basically have some of the best people you possibly have. Oh, hello, rowing man. Oh, what a treat. It's fine. Jack, rowing man, skier upstairs, broken. Thank you. Second one in. It goes. Thanks for coming. What a treat. Nutrition, training, and lifestyle. And we kind of have one of the best teams in the whole area to help support you in all these different spheres of life. It isn't just about turning up, doing exercise, not talking to anyone, and then leaving. 76% of people who trained here who gave us feedback said they come and train for their own mental well-being, like mental health, which is a key term at the minute, but feeling good about themselves and to meet other people. Actually, training was not as high as I thought it was going to be. It's interesting. I was like, 100% of people think the training's important. It's like, no, not really. And there's this teacher, Yeah? You do different colors so everyone can see it because some people are colorblind. Yeah? Stretch and challenge, differentiation. There you go. That's an outstanding teacher right there. I've already swore, so I've already got a 4 for saying fuck. Cool. So, most people set goals but don't stay focused on them, and they definitely don't see them through. Most people aren't clear on the actions that are needed to achieve those goals. Most people try to use willpower as a way to achieve their goals, and that is one of the worst things that you can possibly do because you only have so much willpower. Trust me. Are more reactive rather than proactive. I'll explain what that means in a moment when it comes to working through their challenges. And people don't know how to build a support system so they have a default, and that default isn't 20 pints at the Barrett's and 5 pizzas. What we're going to do today is going to make sure that we appreciate all of you all being here. We're going to help you get clear on the goals and connect with the goals that you want to achieve this year. You're going to have a vision of the person that you want to become, because that's really important. Because you don't know who you want to be, you won't know where you're going. It's like putting in a sat nav and just like going random, but not knowing where you're actually going to. We're going to set clear milestones, and celebrate. Have a point on when to celebrate, because really often we move the goalposts for everything all the time, and we don't actually take a moment to go, I did that thing. That's amazing. We go, yeah, well, I want to do 100 kilos next time. So, well done you. And how to have the best conditions to thrive in 2024. Going to start with a little bit of a negative one, and hopefully some of you guys can relate why goal setting can be a bit shit. Is a lot of people set, who's actually set goals before? Nice, hands down. Who hasn't set goals? A few of you. Some people have no arms, apparently. That's fine. So, people set goals and forget about them. The amount of people that will come along, and if you've done this to me, it sounds like I'm being a prick, but I'm coming from a good place. They're like, Tim, I've signed up for a marathon. Are you proud of me? And I'm like, no, you haven't done anything. You've just signed up. I can sign up for a marathon. That's not a good thing. Just because because what's crazy is, if you watch anything from Andrew Huberman, just by talking about a goal that you haven't yet achieved gives you a very similar dopamine response of actually doing the goal. So you're like, oh, I'm going to go and do this thing, and you're buzzing about. You're elated that you're about to do something, but you've actually done fuck all. You've done nothing. You've just said it. So we want to be cautious about when we're setting goals, not just setting them and not following them through. Who's done that before? More fucking time. Proactive rather than reactive. It is so much better to be proactive. What am I going to deadlift in today's session? I can see that there's deadlift or there's strict press. What am I going in there to do, and how am I going to get there? I'm going for pizza at Parlour tomorrow night. What's on the menu? Because I'm dieting. I want to know what's going on. I'm going to a party. Who's going to be there? We've all got those friends who are a bad influence, Heather Collins. Good influence. Just fun. Just fun. So often people will go into something and go, oh, I just didn't know. They only serve burgers. I just didn't know. It's not my fault. It is your fault. Everything is your fault. Be proactive. Don't just react and say that it's not your fault. Take responsibility. Set goals, but don't know how to get there. I'm going to run a marathon. Oh, but I don't know what shoes to wear. Therefore, I'll do nothing. You behave your way into results. Okay? You're laughing because you know it's true. Don't have the support and environment to flourish in their, unlock their potential. It's a Chamber reference. Oh. If you don't know their tagline, that's what it is. Unlock your potential. Said it. Yeah? So a lot of the time we don't have the support that we need to help us get to where we want to get to, and that's really important. And we rely too much on willpower, and we don't have the systems to have a default. If you're tempted by cake, don't go past the bakery every single morning, because at some point you'll be like, oh, I'm going to have one. Because you only got, temptation will always win. Yeah, the Father Ted reference, Mrs. Dougal. Ah, you want a cup of tea, Father? Go on. He's like, no, Mrs. Dougal, I don't want a cup of tea. She's like, go on. And does it, and then she gets somewhere they say yes. This is like you with everything. What we want to do is have a default where we're not relying on our power to say no, because you can only say no so many times. Okay? Me and Jack talk about this quite a lot, right? So like my default of not even consciously thinking, I'll have 150 grams of protein every day. It's not even on my radar. My default is that's just what happens. But it didn't just happen overnight. It's just my default diet from having a bad day isn't really that bad. So I've conditioned myself over years that I don't just go, I'm going to have 12 Subways, which people do. They go, oh, I've run off the rails a little bit. I had 18 pints on Saturday. And then Sunday, it's like, Jesus, you really went for it there. Anyone relate to this? Hands up if you relate to this. Nice, good. That's why I did it. James Clear, nice little quote by James Clear. The more disciplined your environment is, the less disciplined you need to be. Don't swim upstream. Anyone swam against the current? We don't go anywhere. I had some friends who, tangent 48, I had some friends who rowed across the Atlantic 18 months ago. And there was times where the current was so strong that they would be going for 6 hours and they have gone nowhere. How depressing. But then they didn't have a choice because they're trying to get to the other side. But sometimes going nowhere can be a good thing, right? Just because the train stops at a station doesn't mean it's not going to Milton Keynes. You don't just go, train stopped at Bletchley, get off. Okay? Because if they didn't try really hard for 6 hours, they would have went backwards. So sometimes just staying where you are is actually a really positive thing. Cool. Principle number 1 is gaining clarity on your goals. So there's a workbook. Has everyone downloaded the workbook from the Facebook group? If you haven't, you can QR code scan it. Yes. It's all right, I don't blame you. Real life is less toxic. Do you have a notepad and pen? Got your phone? Cool. It's okay. It's all right. So in your workbook, the first kind of question is, what are your goals? Like what the fudge do you actually want to do with your life? And it could be, don't just think in terms of fitness, think like physical, performance, body. Have a little think. Who said me? My face is in the way. Get my fat head. Nice. Nice. So I'm just going to quickly talk around principle 1, and I'm going to give you some time with some Nando's toilet music to fill it out. And I'm going to be here to kind of help you. And of course, anyone has any questions whilst doing it, ask. The first question is, what are your goals? And then once you've kind of had an idea, jotted some notes, think about how would it feel when you achieve those goals? I want to get into my size 10 dress because one of my daughters is getting married. It's going to make me feel incredible wearing it. I want to look good and feel good and look like I respect myself. How does that feel when you've achieved X thing? I want to do this. I want to climb a mountain. I want to run a marathon. I want to, whatever it might be. Why do you want to achieve those goals? What benefit does it bring you? What feeling is it that you'll gain from having it? And if you had that today, what would be different? Yes, please, Sophie. Just write some notes down. So we are kind of limited on time. So I'm going to give you some time to do it now. What are your goals? How would it feel when you achieve those goals? I've even given you ideas to give you more clarity. You can think smart goals, but how do you know that you've achieved those goals as well? Heather? No, life. Yeah, because after that you've got milestones of working towards that. You've skipped ahead a little bit. So figuring out what you want, and it can be as big or as little as that you would like. The bigger the better. Ho, ho, ho. What are your goals? How does it feel when you've achieved those? And then once you've achieved them, we're going to break it down to little chunks, 30 days, 90 days, and a year. So if your goal, one of your goals is to lose 10 kilos, you ain't doing that in 30 days. Your aim could be, I want to lose 2 kilos, or 1 kilo, or 3 pounds. Then 90 days might be the same again, but a little bit more. Your goal might be, I'm going to write a book. You ain't going to do that in 30 days. But in 90 days, I want to have spoken to 5 different publishers. So in 30 days, I want to have spoken to 1 publisher. I might want to run a marathon. You ain't going to do that in 30 days. Break it down. Going to attend Run Club every Monday for the next month. I want 80% of my diet to be vegetables. So in 90 days, I want it to be 60%. In 30 days, I want it to be 10%. I'm going to have a vegetable every day. First principle is, what are your goals? Big or small? Once you have an idea of what your goals are, again, think your body, personally, hell, think professionally as well. Whatever you want to achieve. Anything is a goal. I haven't got any goals. Why don't you go to the supermarket? I need to go shopping later. I'm going skiing tomorrow. One of my goals is to go to the supermarket. That sounds really arbitrary, but I actually have to do it, and it's going to benefit me. So a goal is just, what action do I need to do so I can benefit myself? It doesn't have to be massive. It could be anything. I want to improve the amount of friends that I have, improve my social circle. Therefore, I'm going to put myself out of my comfort zone and go speed dating. I'm going to go and find a new circle of friends. I'm going to remove that toxic person from my life. But they're really needy, so I'm going to break it down bit by bit. Go learn to dance. There's a new fit dance class. It's Saturday mornings. That combines strength training and dancing. How exciting. Also wears yellow jumpers. And as we go through these principles, we're going to get deeper and deeper and deeper into why those goals are a thing. Going to give you maybe another minute or so. Some of you have got loads down, some of you haven't got much down, that's okay. You might need to sit at home with a cat on your lap, thinking, what the hell do I want and what am I working towards? Who even am I? Who is she? Is it Nikki, as she's called from Big Brother? Who is she? She was so annoying. Imagine being around her all day. What? She's dead. That's not my problem. She's still annoying. Just because she is now dead doesn't mean that she wasn't annoying. A lot less annoying. Yeah. But then it's my choice to watch her on TV, then get frustrated by her, right? Don't you hate that? You find that when you go to festivals, right? You go and see a band. People go, I'm going to go watch that band. I hate them. God, I'm so unhappy I'm watching that band. Just don't go and watch them then. Like, we live in a world where we like to be offended by things. Just choose not to do it. There's lots that we can do. Shut up. There's lots that we can do in our lives to not expose. Some things are inevitable. Some things are upsetting. But we do a lot to ourselves, don't we? Hate being cold. I'm going to go outside and not wear a coat. Your own fault then, isn't it? You prat. So take notes, 30 days, 90 days, in 1 year. I might get the maths a little bit wrong. A little bit wrong. But if I was to say to you, if you were to walk 1 million steps, 1 million steps, how much would that help you? To be like a little bit fitter, to be in a better position. Sounds insane, but it's like 6,000 steps a day for a year. Oh, that's achievable. Breaking things down makes things much more tangible. We think too big. Man, it's crazy, man. You look back at like a year and you're like, that's so far away. Then when the year has been, you're like, that year's flown by. Fucking mad, isn't it? We're just, humans are dumb. Cool. So, principle number 2. This is very important. Identify change to achieve your goals. Something has to change for something to change. If you keep doing the same thing, nothing will change. The amount of people that go, I just really hope my body scan is different. I just really hope that it's going to be different this time. It's like, why hope? Hope isn't going to help you. Hope doesn't really mean anything. Like, are you doing the things that are required for that thing to change? But guess what? For some people, it's much harder. Life's not fair. Life can be really shit. Some people are taller, some people are shorter, some people have more body fat, some people have different bone structure, and sometimes for some people, life is just really, really hard. And as horrible as it sounds, no one cares. It doesn't matter, because the universe will always win, accepting yourself and what you need to do. Some people have to try harder than others. We went to gymnastics on the other night with Kyle. And the friend who I went with just went, does Kyle just find everything easy? I was like, yeah, everything. He just finds everything easy. So annoying. He just does anything and just gets it. I'm like, I got to try really hard and I hurt my neck. He's like, just do it. Oh, I've done it, yeah. That's not fair. It's not fair. It's just, listen. But I'm taller than him, so it's all right. And I came third. And I beat Kyle. Yeah. So a really important question is, what person do you need to become to have achieved X goal? And this is a really powerful question for me personally, because I listed all the things that I don't do. And I'm like, I can't complain about that thing, the work that I'm not doing. Because if I wanted to achieve X, I'd be disciplined. I would do these things more. I would make sure I'm committed to X. I would do this. I wouldn't do this. Man, I don't do those things that I know I should be doing. Went to the dentist yesterday, went to the orthodontist. It was a true story. He was like, Tim, perfect. Class, thanks very much, well done. I'm like, thank you. Because 2 years ago, he was like, do you floss? I was like, no. He's like, you need to floss. I was like, I know I do. Okay, I'm going to do it. Then just started flossing every single morning and night, and I hated it because I couldn't be asked. And now it's like, now I do it when I was at a festival last year, flossing my teeth. I've never seen someone floss their teeth at a festival. I was like, it's what I do now. It's part of my habits. But prior to that, I didn't used to floss. I used to go and see my dentist in 6 months' time. He's like, Tim, have you started flossing yet? I'm like, no. He'd be like, do it. I told you to do it. Why aren't you doing it? I'm like, I don't know why I'm not doing it. It's an idiot. So what I did is I left my little flossing kit next to my toothbrush. So every time I had to clean my teeth, I was like, I've got to do it, because it was in the cupboard. The cupboard just forgot about it. My dentist isn't calling me every week saying, Tim, make sure you floss. I know how to floss. I just need to do it, not be an absolute prat. So what kind of person do you need to become to achieve those goals? More disciplined, more time efficient, better planner, no longer a people pleaser. That's something I've personally struggled with quite a lot. Someone who trains every day of the week, a good cook, a person who always stays accountable, someone who's optimistic, not a negative Nelly. How do you become more optimistic? Small, steady changes. What were your challenges this year? What challenges are you potentially going to face this year? Challenges that have occurred in your life where you've had to use bravery, accountability, patience. Characteristics that you have already shown in your life through your milestones. that you have achieved. I haven't lost 10 kilos of fat in a week. It's bullshit. Well, you know what? You spent 5 years retraining your whole career and changing your whole life based on what you want. Have patience. This person who has these goals, the behaviors that you will have for the person who has the goals that you want to have achieved, how would that person respond to the challenges that you're potentially going to face this year? I might have to move house. I might have to change my job. My partner might leave me. These challenges that might happen. You might die. Someone you love might die and turn your whole world upside down. Very real possibility. You may get a new pet. How would that person that you want to be, the goals that you've created for yourself, the characteristics that you've shown previously in your life, how would they respond to challenge? How would they handle challenges? It should say 2024, my bad. Keep forgetting what year I'm in. If I'm flying through this a little bit too quick, take notes of the questions. Powerful question. What's different about that person's daily actions compared to yours? I did this task, and it was really eye-opening, right? And it was like, what do you want to achieve in X amount of time? And what would that person have done or be doing? So I look at people in my industry who are the perception of success, have everything they could possibly want. Of course, social media is bullshit. It's probably not true. I'm aware of that. But what characteristics does that person have that maybe I don't? And can I do those things? Almost definitely. It's important not to compare yourself to other people, though. Because what is one person's success is another person's failure. And you've got to take everything of everybody. I can't be like, oh, I just absolutely love Sammy's hair. I just wish I had Sammy's hair. But I also don't want to wash my hair every single day. So if you want to have lovely hair, you've got to do everything else as well. What would people say about the future you? What's crazy about this point is like, we're not very nice at talking to ourselves. We're actually pretty shit to ourselves, but really nice about other people. I did a 4-minute video, and I recorded it, and I realized it was probably too harsh to post in the group, because everyone will think I'm a massive prick. But it was a video on main character syndrome, which is where we think we're the most important things in this whole universe. And everyone's looking at us. Everyone's judging us. Everyone's like, oh my God, that person's I'm so important. Because I was having a conversation with somebody and they were like, I haven't been in the gym in like 2 months. I'm embarrassed that everyone's going to judge me. Everyone's going to notice that I've put on a bit of weight. Everyone's going to notice that I'm not as fit as I used to be. Everyone's going to notice that I've not been taking care of myself. And I was like, this is going to sound horrible, but how self-centered are you that you think everyone's looking at you? Because they're not, because they don't care. Let's reverse it, I said. One of your friends, someone you've been noticing in the gym, they haven't been in the gym in 2 months. They feel like they've let themselves go. Are you going to be judging them and look down on them? I would never do that. Oh my God, no. So why would they do that to you? Ding. Why would they do that to you if you wouldn't do that to them? What makes you so special, you so different? You're just a person that no one really cares about. But we care, but we also don't really care. But we think we're much more important than we actually are. We think the universe cares. We think we go through some traffic lights and we're like, I'm going through all the red lights on me, but I'm really busy. I'm in a rush. Life's unfair. No, life is just what happened to you. The universe doesn't care about what you do, who you are, how late you are, anything. How you respond to it is everything. So what would the future version of you, the positive one, not the negative inner voice that everyone has saying, you piece of shit, you don't deserve anything. Because we all have that voice, by the way. Not just me. I'm not a crazy person. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Just quick show of hands. Who speaks? Put your hand up. If you speak more positively about other people than you do of yourselves. That was the quickest hands up ever. If you were all sheriffs, you would have all won. How mad is that? Because the longest relationship you will ever be in is the one that you have with yourself. We all fucking hate ourselves. I don't. I like myself. Not Ali. He's the best. Kyle loves himself. He's like, I'm great. Shut up, Kyle. I hate you. I'm joking. Principle 3, behavior change. You behave your way into results. Hope won't get you anywhere. It's not a Marvel film. You don't just hope that someone's going to defeat Thanos. You've got to actually do things to do it. So what do you need to start doing? Question number 1 in principle 3 is, what do you need to start doing? Going for that walk, putting a coat on, eating a vegetable, turning up to the gym, not being so goddamn harsh on yourself. Understand that you're just a human being, not a magician. We all have intrusive thoughts. You cannot control your mind. People, you cannot control your mind. You can only control your actions. And I've thought, I wonder if I could throw this off Jamie's head. I wonder what would happen. I've thought that. I've really thought that. I'm not going to do it, because you can't control your mind. I think crazy things, and I'm like, I'm a crazy person. But we're all just crazy. I think really crazy, weird things. I talk to someone, I'm like, oh, I'd love to just punch you in the mouth. You don't, no? But we all think that. What do you need to start doing? Waking up at a certain time. Bringing your logbook, tracking your workouts. Oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to lift. Have you tracked your workout? No. Well, why don't you start doing that then? My dentist tells me to start flossing. I know I need to start flossing. Why am I doing it? I'm just being an absolute prat. I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. A lot of the times, you just need to do things. And sometimes, you won't do it. I'll miss a day's flossing. Very rarely, by the way. I'll pick it up the next day. What a lot of people tend to do, which I actually don't do anymore, by the way. We put things in the fuck it bucket. We go, I missed it. What's the point? It's going to stop the gym, throw everything away, and give up. It's just crazy. If you lose route when you're in your car and you're driving somewhere, you make a wrong turn, you go, well, let's go drive to Bournemouth. Or worse, Blackpool. Yeah? Begins with a B. Oh, I took the wrong turn into Wellingborough. Well, might as well go to Blackpool. No, you go, how quickly can I get back on route so I'm going to my appointment at Wellingborough? Hopefully you're not in Wellingborough. No, sorry. I quite like Wellingborough. But when it comes to things like this and fitness and training, we make a mistake, we do something wrong. Congratulations, you're a human being with emotions. We just think, there's no point. I'm just going to give up. Don't. Get back on it. What do you need to stop doing? Scrolling through your phone 3 hours a day. My God, I do this a lot. I'd have a phone in the bedroom. I have a sleep mask. My sleep health is really important. I have a sleep mask. I have no phone in the bedroom. I have no screen time an hour before I go to bed. All these little layers of things that I've done to help me sleep better. And trust me, I sleep amazingly. Shut up, Ali. For now. Ha ha! Ha ha! I don't wake up anyway. I don't wake up. It's like my secret power. I'm good at 3 things. I'm good at three things. Drinking Guinness, not losing lip balm, and sleeping through anything. I can drink 12 pints of Guinness. I'm like, that sound. Next day, I'm not sound though. What do you need to start doing? What do you need to stop doing? What do you need to continue to do? Some of you are doing some good things. What do you need to continue to do? Turning up. Planning the next day the night before. Being proactive instead of reactive. Don't just turn up, oh, I didn't know we were doing that today, but I've got a bad knee. Because you've done something to change that by looking, probably. You can always do something more than what you're currently doing. Prepping work lunches, doing a morning run, turning off your phone. Now, some things you can't do because it's really hard. But there's some things that you definitely can do better than what you're currently doing now. And remember, when you're sat wallowing in self-pity, everything's crap, I can't do this. The universe doesn't care. Okay? You have to behave your way to change. How can you be the best client, the best member, the best person in the room? What does success look like? What do you need? What do you do? What do we need to do to help you? It might be important to write that down so you can tell us. If you're struggling with something, you need help with something, speak to us. We're here for you. I mean, we literally are here for you. Literally here to help you, talk with you, give you a kick at the bum if you need one. Willingly. He's got his toe caps. Yes, good timing. The big question. You might have lots of things written down, you might not, but what's one thing that you can do that's probably going to help you make the most progress? It could be, oh, my phone way too much. I don't sleep very well. If I had better sleep, I mean, honestly, if you have better sleep, you'll feel better at everything. You wouldn't be yawning doing seminar presentations. Just saying.
We'll talk about it in August.
Zing! Yeah, nice. Ha ha ha. Because often the time, there's so many things that we can do, we get overwhelmed. We figure out a goal, but there's so much choice. We don't know where to start. We go to a buffet, there's 20 different foods. Where do I start? I want a bit of everything. But you can't eat everything all the time. Choosing one thing. What's going to be the biggest bang for your buck? Drinking more water. Sleeping a bit more. But I can't sleep more. I've got kids. Oh, it's terrible. It's impossible. Is there anything that you could do better than what you're doing now? Yeah, to realize I shouldn't be playing the new Avatar game at midnight. Yeah, that probably isn't going to help you. I like it. Sounds like very aggressive Nando's music. Principle 4, systems and environment change. What systems does that person have in place? So the goals which you've set, the person that you are looking to be. What things does that person have in place? Do they have a weekly routine? So we've just given this to the team, right, where we're looking at blocking out hours and what we're going to do within that task, within that time frame. So those who know me, I'm quite disorganized and impulsive, and I get distracted by things really easily. Yeah, shocking. Glad you all sat down. Yeah? So that's not necessarily helping with my productivity. I'm incredibly productive. I do a lot of stuff, but I do lots of stuff. So if actually just focusing on one thing that I would have done really, really well in like a few days, I do 20 things suboptimally. So writing things down and focusing on one task helps me in my crazy brain. What could you do? You might not necessarily have to do that. Do you plan your work week? Do you plan, I've got end of tax year. I'm just using Jamie as all examples because he's just sat there. End of tax year. I've got PhD research people coming to me on this date. What can I do before that to help me with that? So by the time that date comes, I'm not like, oh, everyone's asking me questions at this time that happens every year. Like, what can you foresight? What foresight can you have to help change and predict what you're going to do? Who supports you in your goals? Your team, people around you, your friends, your family, your dog. Woof. I disagree. I talk to Jesse all the time. Your cat's cute 1 minute, and then he's not cute a minute later. He's like, oh, he bit me. He's just cute all the time. Who supports you in your goals? It's you. Is my slide not right to my notes? Have I made a mistake? Yeah. So now you know who potentially supports you, who does not support you in what you want to do. Also a really important one, because we all have people in our lives that probably should not be in our lives. One thing that I'm very, very good at, on top of not losing lip balm, is I have very little time for anyone who doesn't contribute positively to my life. I just have no time for it. If there's anyone in my life who does not give me energy, I mean, sometimes you got to drain me, but joking. If I don't have anyone in my life who sucks life out of me, I have no one who's toxic, I just have no time for it. Since I turned that 30 about 20 years ago, just have no time for it. And I used to hang around with people who were just toxic and drain me. I'd leave their interaction being like, oh God, this person's just the worst. I hate their values and their behaviors. They don't align with mine. Just doesn't happen. So if you ever see me outside of work and I talk to you, well done. You're all right. I just had to start off any time for anyone like that. And I'm much happier because of it. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad people. Just not for me. I hate cats. Gone! No one needs that negativity in my life. So we need to figure out who supports you, who doesn't support you. And how can you help? What can you do? What can you control within your environment? You can't lock the kids away in a cupboard and leave them there for a week. But what can you do to help yourself? Yeah, go for it.
This is one that I struggle with.
Yeah.
Whilst I have my own goals,
Mhm.
they aren't always shared.
Correct.
With people that I live with.
Yeah.
And that actually makes it quite hard.
Almost really, really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So almost impossible. So when you ask about like what are the barriers that are preventing you from achieving goals, it's actually because of the environment.
Yeah.
And I'm not massively influenced about it, but to reach that last 10, 20%, I kind of do.
Yeah.
And this is where it sort of starts to get that sort of internal sort of tussle. It's not a toxic person. Don't want them out of my life.
Yeah. No.
They're good at lots of other things.
Yeah.
Not this thing that relates to my goal. So I suppose I'm looking for, one of the reasons why I'm here is for the environment that helps me achieve that particular goal.
Yeah.
I don't have that elsewhere. So I struggle with what's going to change then in the environment, because I've done all that I can, give it as much as I can. What else is there? That's the bit I'm struggling.
There'll always be little things, but it's a really good question, so thanks for that. Your environment dictates all your behavior, by the way. Your environment is more important than almost anything. How do I mean by that? When I'm driving down the road in Northampton, I'm not driving down the road at 80 miles per hour because it's a 30 zone and I do at least 40. Okay, is that on camera? No. 30 zone. It's a 30 zone, okay? So the environment is telling me how I need to respond. My behavior is completely dictated by the environment. The environment is saying, it's 30 here, it's 60 there. I'm like, okay, your environment is a lot more, imposes a lot more than what you probably think. Where you are, how you behave, how you are at work, with your partners, with your cat, is probably, almost definitely, completely different. I don't see Nikki and go, hello, Nikki. Although sometimes it is tempting. Yeah? I'm talking to my cat, I just go, who's a good girl? All the time. I don't do that to Tracy all the time. Like, the environment who I'm with completely changes our behavior because we are kind of chameleons, I guess. We just adapt to what's around us. When it comes to your environment, sometimes your environment is really difficult. So it depends on exactly what your goal is, and then finding what can I possibly do more at this current time. Because your environment is going to change. It isn't going to be the same forever. What it was a year ago isn't what it's going to be in another year's time. As people get older, you have more time, less time constraints, work. Your environment is transient and will always move. And sometimes it's really, really, really hard to get what you can out of it. And that's almost okay. So I know someone who had twins, yeah? And it's like, that is the worst thing ever. Like you know when people say, like, I have no time. I have no time to do anything. I'm like, yeah, you have no time. Yeah, you have no time. I can't sit here and say, well, you can find time, because in this environment, for the next 6 months, you have no time, because your whole environment is completely changed. It's very, 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 very difficult. But that doesn't mean that is not a tiny bit more than what you can do to stay where you are and not go backwards. And then once the time happens, you can then start moving forwards again. But what I have got is I've got a 100-point checklist of optimizing your environment that I'll share with you. I'll share it in the group. And it's like loads of little things. And you might tick them and say, I've ticked all those boxes. There might be 1 or 2 things that you go, you know what, I could maybe look at that as well. I'll find it for you. I've not looked at it in ages, but I'll send it over to you. But it's also okay to know that sometimes your environment is difficult and challenging. But I bet there'll be somebody with a similar, if not worse, environment than you that is able to achieve what you want to achieve. It can be done. Really good quote that I came across is, tension is the tool for growth. So when things are hard and you're like, I'm frustrated, this is difficult, that is challenging, that is when you grow, because that's what difficult feels like. When you're like, I don't want to turn up, it's cold, this is rubbish, boo. Good, that is how you're going to develop and grow. When everything's easy, you don't grow. Challenge. And just because you are struggling with something does not mean you are failing. We often associate struggling as I'm a failure. Nope, that's why it's called struggling. It's because it's really freaking hard, and that's part of life. But we don't want to feel struggle. That's what struggle is. It's not going to feel nice. It's rubbish. But that is what helps us get better. Just because you're struggling does not mean that you are failing. This is the last bit. I'm going to do it in 4 minutes. It's going to finish bang on the hour. The meaning behind your goals, and you might need more time to do this, but it's really powerful. If you just list the goal but don't know why it's important to you, you'll almost definitely not see it through. For me, and I'll talk about this quite openly, I very rarely miss a training session. It is like the last thing for me to go. My environment allows me to do so. Of course, I work in a gym. But it's also, when I know my environment will change, it is something that will not go. Because if I don't train and exercise, I'm not a very nice person to be around. I feel awful about myself, and if I feel awful about myself, I'm not very nice to other people. I'm tetchy, I'm aggressive, my brain is even more chaotic than it is normally. I'm not a good manager, I'm not a good leader, I'm not a good boss, I'm not a good husband, I'm not a good friend. These things drive me because I know that not training impacts every area of my life negatively. Me personally. Why do I train? So I don't feel like shit and become a terrible person. That's a fucking big driver for me. I don't want to feel like shit and hate myself and look like I don't take care of myself, that I don't take care of my body. And I got deep quick. But it's important for me to understand my why of why I have to train. I want to make sure that when I do a high rock, so when I do any event, I'm not letting myself down because there's high expectations upon me to be a certain way. I'm going skiing tomorrow. Don't know if I told you. Everyone, oh, Tim, you'll be fine. You can do everything. Can I though? I can't do everything. The reason why I can do some things is because I train really, really hard to not be shit. And I practice relentlessly so that I'm above average, but because I put the work in, not because I'm naturally talented, not because I'm gifted. I try really hard to be bang average at everything that I do. I haven't got great genetics. I just work hard. When everyone's telling me, you're going to do skiing, you've never done it before, you're going to be amazing, you can do everything, you're amazing, you'll be like a breeze. I feel a lot of pressure because I'm like, I'm not good at things. I've just got to try really hard. So these are certain expectations placed upon me that I have to perform and look a certain way. I can't just be a fat shit person who doesn't do anything. I've got to show everyone that hard work can help you get places. And that's what I carry around with me all the time. That's my why. That's why I don't miss a training session. Not because I just want to be healthy. I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to let my family down. I don't want to let you guys down. So I have a lot of pressure, but why I train. Yours might not be that, but there's some ideas. How will it benefit your life? How will your goals benefit you, your children, your cats, yourself? How would it add to your life? Feeling fit and strong is really amazing. Being able to go, I can go for a walk and not be in pain. We don't appreciate health until we haven't got it. And we see someone that we know, that we love, has bad health. You're like, oh, it's awful. Or even super fishy when you have a cold. I've got the sniffles. It's the worst. I can't sleep. It's so annoying. It's in one nostril, then the next nostril. Annoying, right? All I want to do is just be better. Well, imagine if you've got cancer and it's really bad. Like your health is so, so important. And you're all going to die at some point in the not too distant future. You know what's crazy? America dropped an atomic bomb in Hiroshima not long ago, like in your parents' lifetime. Nuked the whole city. Not long ago, like 80 years ago. What? They can't do that. They do. We can get bombed tomorrow by China. Know what happened? It does happen. Jesus. So do stuff. Or don't, because you're going to die anyway. What would it add to your life? What would being a certain way? What would going to one of your daughter's weddings and feeling amazing in a dress, putting on a pair of pants that you've not worn in 20 years? What would that feel like? What would that look like? How would that benefit you? Make you feel better about yourself. You have high levels of self-worth. Well, that's pretty worth fighting for, isn't it? Feeling good about yourself. Because remember, most of us feel like shit most of the time, and we hate ourselves. Do things that help you. Who benefits? Who benefits from you achieving those goals and feeling better about yourself? And how do they benefit? Will you have more patience? Will you be braver? Will you hold yourself to a high level of accountability? Are they good characteristics to role model? Everybody here is a role model of some kind. There will be somebody in everyone's life that somebody else copies you. Because that's what we do. We copy other people because we're just sheep. We copy desirable behaviors from other people. Don't believe me? Go to a gig. Everyone's doing the same thing, but no one's talking. Weird, right? We all just follow each other. Like we're meant to be together, like a weird kind of spiritual connection. Important little kind of final-ish point is what inspires you to start doing something. It could be a photo of yourself that you hated, looking unhappy. It could be, man, I like write diaries and stuff. I'll look through like diary notes of me like 3-4 years ago, and I'm like, man, I'm not so pleased I'm not that person anymore. It's not even that long ago. Just like Hiroshima, not even that long ago. What inspires you to keep moving forward? What inspires you to get out of bed every day? If you didn't get those questions down, I can happily go through them at the end. But in summary, where were you before? What have you previously achieved in your life with your your milestones? What characteristics have you shown? Where are you now and where are you going? Define your goals. Get clear on your targets and your timelines. Who is the person that you need to become to help achieve those goals? What characteristics does the person that you need to have, that you want to be, what characteristics does that person have? Because you've already achieved things and you've had amazing characteristics that help you even to sit in this chair in this room. You've done something right. You have. There's a lot of people who aren't here outside of the gym. The fact that you're like in this country with a chair, wearing clothes. Most of you have had a shower this morning. Most of you have eaten today. That's pretty good. A lot of people in this world do not have those privileges. What actions are needed to rebuild that version of you? What characteristics? What do you need to do? Do you need to floss before you see the dentist? Yes. Do it then. Maybe you can't floss every single day. Maybe start doing it once a week. I can't go for a run. I don't know what shoes to have. Go for a walk. Get some shoes. Go for a jog. Do something. If everybody did, here's the thing, if everybody did what they, to the amount of knowledge that they have on that subject, everyone would be making progress. If people just did to the level of knowledge that they had, they would be making progress. Nutrition. I don't know what to eat. You're an adult. You actually do. But how do I do this? How do I do that? What do you know? Do you think vegetables are good? Yes, vegetables are good. Is pizza going to contribute positively to those goals? No, it's not. Cool. So you actually do know what you can do. You might not know loads, but you can probably do something to take action. And ultimately, that responsibility comes to you. Remembering your why. Why are you here? Why are you doing it? Not just here, just living. Why do you do the job that you do? You might be stuck in a job, but there's a reason for that. Can you change it? Probably. Will it take bravery? Yes. Accountability, perseverance? Yes. It's hard, but tension is the tool for growth. If it was easy, we wouldn't be sat here in chairs. We'd be stuck. All we have is now. And we've still got tape. Bang on time, minus 6 minutes. That's pretty good. Thank you very much. If anyone's got any like takeaways, like 3 takeaways, like just give me 1 takeaway to like just share, that would be lovely. Anyone want to share a takeaway? Not a pizza. Sahil? Previous achievements. Bingo. Good. Because there's so many things that you will have achieved in your life that were like, yeah, whatever, next. I've just finished my degree. Go do a master's now. I'm going to go do something else. It's like, cool. When do we ever sit and go, you know what? Well done. But we'll say well done to somebody else. Well done. You've been amazing. When's the last time you congratulated yourself? Yeah, no, but I'm a piece of shit. You're not. You're just the same as somebody else. Thank you, Farron. Big takeaways, anyone? It doesn't have to be a big one. It's be a little one. It's what you do with it that counts. Little Lisa? Bingo. Tension is a tool for growth. Because we feel tension, and tension doesn't feel nice. We want everything to feel fluffy and nice, and I want it to be nice, to be nice and warm. But actually, it's the hard things that is when we actually grow and develop. That's why everyone should do hard things. I've probably said this a lot. I have an ice cold shower every morning, and every single morning, I do. Every single morning, I'm like, don't do it. It's terrible. My mind never ever changes and goes, it's going to be nice this time. Don't do it. No one will know. No one's even here. Just tell everyone that you've done it. But then you can't lie to yourself. And I do it, and I'm like, oh, that's horrible. But it actually feels easier now. It feels easier doing it now because I'm just used to the cold. But mentally, before I do it, I have that same conversation. Do not do this. No one will know. It's horrible. Why would you even do it? And that's why I'm going to do it. Because it's not supposed to feel nice. It's meant to be horrible. Yeah? Because I have a house and a shower and a table and some shoes. My life's pretty cushy. I can pretty much do whatever I want. So doing things that are hard is beneficial. I start the day doing something that is hard. So other things in the day that will be hard, I've done the hard thing. That's horrible. Yeah? Thank you. Let's go like that. Anyone else? Last one? Amanda? Are we wearing the same glasses? It's pretty cool. Thought we were wearing the same glasses. It's pretty cool. Sorry. Yeah? Ah, sorry. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. But it is literally, we think, I'm going to stop using my phone. I'm not going to use my phone ever. It's like, no, just do it a little bit less and see what else you can do. I'm terrible for being on my phone. But it's like putting it out the room. And then like, oh, what am I? Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll read a book instead. Or I'll just sit with my eye mask, listening to space music. That also happens. But like, do you know what I mean? Like, I have to, you got to do, but that's because I've changed my environment. I'm not using willpower. Because if I put my phone by my bed, who has their phone by their bed, by the way? Put your hand up. Is it the first thing you check in the morning, looking at other people's bullshit highlight reels? Fuck, yeah. You look at it and go, oh, look what everyone else is doing. My life's crap. They're doing all these amazing things. You're saying 2 seconds of someone's life and assuming that they've got their shit together, and they haven't. They're probably just in bed doing the same thing as you, because they're just the same, because you're all the same, because you're just humans. But changing your environment by putting it out the room, something as simple as that, I'm no longer relying on willpower because I go, oh, nothing's there. And the pattern disrupt is I've got to get out of my warm bed to go and get my phone. Do I really want to do it? Nah, can't be asked. Pattern disrupt. Do things like that. Don't rely on willpower. Just change your environment so it's a little bit better. A little bit better. Lush. I'm here to talk. Forever, really. If anyone wants to talk, if anyone needs the worksheet, if anyone needs any questions, if anyone wants to talk, hang out, have a coffee, you're more than welcome to stay as long as you want. But honestly, thank you so much for joining us. Give yourself a little round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah? Have a fantastic Saturday. Thank you very much.